Hey guys, welcome to another brand new video of WP Mat. Today's video is gonna be very exciting as we will show you how to create multi-step or multi-page form with MetForm in your WordPress website. So without further ado, let's get started. Right at the get-go, log into your admin panel and go to the dashboard. So at first, make sure that in your website both Elementor and MetForm plugins are installed and activated. So let me just go to my plugins page and see what's the condition. Okay, so if you see, I already have MetForm and MetForm Pro activated, and also Elementor is activated. So in your case, you have to first install it and then you have to activate it. So let's go back to the dashboard again. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to go to the pages tab and then click add new. Okay, now provide a suitable title for your page and then select Elementor full width as template. Click on publish. After that, click on edit with Elementor to switch to the Elementor window. Okay, so now we are into the Elementor window. Alright, so once you are in edit with Elementor mode, search for MetForm and drag and drop it on the place where you want it to appear. So now click on the form section to go to the edit MetForm options. So click on the edit form button. So now select new, provide a form name for the form. Choose the blank template and click on the edit form button. So once you click on edit form, you will get access to another new window with Elementor page builder to create your form from scratch. So to build one single step of multi-step form, you need to follow certain steps. So at first, add a brand new section. Okay, so as there will be many input fields, so we will add one by one. So next, add an inner section. So drag and drop it to the section. So, but let me tell you one thing, that in this blog, I'm going to create a demo of 3 steps of hotel booking multi-step form using the steps mentioned above. So the 3 steps of the form will include personal information, booking information, and additional information. Let me add the first input field. So okay, so now we will add the first input field, and that is text. Okay, so let's edit it now. So this is going to be our first name. You can also put a placeholder. So you can see the placeholder is showing up here. So this is how there are many other options you can add. Let's go to the settings tab. Okay, so here you have to declare if the input fields are mandatory or not. So the name, first name, it's mandatory, so we will enable it. Okay, then you have conditional logic, which will not apply in this input field. Okay, then let's go to the next input field, next section. Okay, let's drag and drop the text widget. So let's edit it in the similar way. Placeholder, for example, can be something like that. Okay, so this is how we will add some more input fields. Okay, so just like the first name and last name, we will add two more input fields in an inner section. So let's search for inner section and drag and drop it to the first section. So let's make the edits. This looks perfect. You can just enable it. So once you're done modifying the settings of the email and mobile number field, search and drag and drop the next step button. You can change different button settings such as label, button alignment icon position, etc. So let's search for step button. So your next step button shows up on the screen. Okay, so these all the input fields are under one section. So now if you want to move to the next step, you have to create a new section. So the first section is ready, and as there will be 3 different steps, so we have to define a step name. So for that, click on the 6 dot icon to open the setting option on the first section. Go to layout and multi-step, then multi-step. Okay, so now set a name for the multi-step tab title. It will be personal information. Choose an icon from the library and insert. and then you can update to save, but you can even update it later on, so that's not a big deal. So now your first section is ready. Now we will move on to the next section. So for that you have to create another new section. So for the second step, we have created a new section. Now I'm going to choose a new section with a single column and then add a new inner section with 2 equal columns. So now I will add an inner section. Okay, so for both the input fields I will add 2 inputs, check in and check out. So let's add the date widget. The second one. Okay, so now we can make the edits. So the first one will be check-in. And make sure that you even add your label name inside the name field. So let's go to the second input field. It will be checkout. Okay, so the other things can remain unchanged. Here if you want you can even apply the conditional logic. Okay, and here we will enable the mandatory field. Similarly for the checkout field. Okay, so in this section we will also apply the conditional logic. Enable the conditional logic. So what you can do, you can add an item. Here you can put your condition. The same goes for the checkout field. Now we can add more fields. For example, number of children and the number of people. So now add a new inner section so that we can add more input fields. So at this point we will add 2 number form fields through inner section. So drag and drop the number widget. So now you can make the necessary edits. You can also make it a mandatory field as shown before. So same goes for the other input field. So yeah, that actually ends the second section of this form. So now you have to move on to the next and the last step, but before that you have to add the previous and the next step buttons, so that as we are actually dealing with the multi-step forms. So let's look for the previous step and the next step buttons. So now we will add the steps, the previous and the next steps. So for that, at first we have to add an inner section. So now we have to search for previous step and the next step buttons. So both previous step and the next step button show up, and now you can make necessary edits. Okay, so now we have to move to the next and the last step of this form. So for that we have to create again another new section. So for this step, now let's add a text field and we will name it additional information. Let's add a new section with a single column, and then we will add a text field and name it additional information. Okay, so now we will edit it. The other fields look okay, and this can be an optional field, but you can change the placeholder here. So next we will add an inner section of 2 columns within the section. After that we will drag and drop a previous button and then a submit button for form submission. So both these buttons show up. We can make little edits. Okay, so now on the surface of it, the form creation is complete, the multi-step form. So now what we can do is, move forward and update the form, and let's see how it looks. So this is how your multi-step or multi-page form looks like. So now we will check if it works or not. So now one more task is left, which we haven't done yet. We only did for the first section. So we have to add the tab names for the remaining 2 sections. So let's do that. Okay. So we have already named the tabs, so now we will update the changes and close the window. So now we have our form, but now it's time to convert it to a working multi-step form. So for that, go to content and click the multi-step settings tab, enable multi-step, enable the display multi-step navigation, which I think is already enabled, and you can scroll and see all the other fields there. So once you're happy, click the update button. So before we preview the changes, we will look at the form settings. So for that, click on the edit form. Again, click on the edit form button. So here you can see there is a tab called form settings. So we will move to that tab to skim through all the settings if they are okay or not. So click the form settings tab. As you can see, there are a number of tabs under form settings. The title, success message, that means once your form is submitted, how the message should show up. Then you have confirmation, notification, integration, payment, CRM, authentication, post. So you can close the window. So now it's time to preview the changes. So now we will check how our final multi-step booking form looks like. So we will preview the form. So here you go. This is our form, which is a multi-step form. So we will input the values in each of the fields. So now we'll go to the next step. So here you have the booking information. So put number of rooms, number of people. So now we will go to the next step. Here you have additional information, anything you can write. So yeah, all the input fields are filled up. So now we can submit the button. You see, thank you for form submitted successfully. So this is how you can easily create multi-page or multi-step form with MetForm in your WordPress website. That's it. If you like the video, do give us a thumbs up. We'll be back again with another new and exciting video. Till then, take care and goodbye.